Hi guys, so it's Yvette. I'm back with another video for my YouTube vlog. And today I wanted to take some time out to talk a little bit about self-love. It's something definitely that I figured out I needed a little bit more than what I was already doing. And just really learning the definition of what true self-love is. Um, and I mentioned that, in previous videos that was definitely something key for me during my journey. So I just wanted to take some time out today to talk a little bit about, what my thoughts are on self-love, how it basically, it, it taught me that I needed to prioritize myself and stop prioritizing everyone else over myself. Because I learned during this journey that you know, you tend to burn out. When you give without receiving, and you shouldn't give to expect anything in return. But in certain situations in life or certain relationships in life, that is somewhat of an expectation of making sure that you are giving, not only giving, but you are receiving as well. One definite, thing that I learned during this journey that I'm on is that I needed to be happy for myself and I needed my life to be fulfilled for myself before I can give to anyone else. Because if you're again continuously giving, you're draining yourself. And that's what I found myself doing. During those last 5 years that I had a lot of things going on in my life, I realized that I needed to give myself self-love, and I needed to figure out what that meant for me. So that's what I want to kind of talk about today. I want to start again with the definition. It says, and I googled this, so it says self-love is the key to a happy and fulfilling life. By practicing self-love, we learn to accept ourselves as we are and cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and contentment. By prioritizing our own needs and desires, we're better able to connect with others, pursue our passions, and achieve our goals. I really enjoyed that definition during my research for this vlog. And the reason why is because it was actually just calling out to me. It was exactly what I felt the definition of self-love was, what I found it to be in my life experience. One key thing here in this definition that called out to me was we need to accept ourselves as we are, right? So I thought that was definitely a powerful statement. Just accepting who we are is just part, definitely, of having a happy and fulfilled life. Um, like I mentioned, I had multiple life changing events happen to me. And I needed to heal from that. I needed to heal from, the back to back to back situations that were happening in my life. And with God's help, I definitely figured out, who I was, what was going on in my life. And that was something that caused my the traumatic experiences that I went through was what caused my awakening, right? In the previous video I mentioned that it triggers something that triggers you, like, hey, when you're tired of your own crap and you're tired of doing the same thing that you've been doing without any progression, without any satisfaction, change is required in order for growth, in order for change. You know what I'm saying? You have to change your situation, because no one's gonna do it for you. So part of that journey that I learned all those things on, all those life lessons that I thank God for, you know what I'm saying? They were difficult, but they taught me a lot about myself. They taught me how to really, give in a good way with boundaries. You have to set boundaries for yourself, because there's a lot of mean people in this world and they will take advantage of you, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that people that you're with for so long, could basically have, a different agenda or different intent for the life that you have with certain people. So it's just crazy how it kind of all lines up for me now. In hindsight, when I kind of sit back and reflect on things, I'm like, wow, I really was giving out a lot of love, wasn't really receiving, and I wasn't giving myself love, and that was a major issue. um One thing that I know is there's a lot of women that were in my situation. You know what I'm saying? Especially Hispanic Puerto Rican women. Our parents or our mom teaches us. You have to basically do everything for your family, and things like that, and just make sure the kids are taken care of. Food and cooking and cleaning and doing all that, taking care of your man. All those things basically are instilled in women, specifically in my scenario, Puerto Rican women. um and in that, while that's great, you know what I'm saying, because that fulfilled me for the time that I had, with my children. I had, raised three sons. I was in a 20 plus year relationship. By the time I was 25 years old, I had all my sons already. And I did what I was supposed to do, as a mom for them. And I'm proud that I did that, and I'm happy that I did that. And those were wonderful memories. Two of my three sons were sports guys. Cross country, swimming, football, basketball, all those things were basically part of my life and part of the routine that I had all the time. Taking them to practice, track meets, getting their snacks, buying pizza for the team, getting water, doing all these things, uniforms, making sure that they had their stuff together for the day of the game. Um, basically just doing everything that I needed to do to take care of my children. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, again, we're in the midst of doing all these wonderful things for our family. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst, we lose ourselves as women. And that's basically what happened to me. I still have my time, my girls' night out, once every couple months or whatever, we would go out, or, I would do certain things. I was always at the gym. That was something that I like to do. So, there's different things that I always kind of kept up for myself. But in reality, that was always the back burner. You know what I'm saying? I would always put, my family first, and my family meaning, at that time, my husband and my sons, right? Again, just like many women do, you know what I'm saying? But fortunately, I did lose myself, and I got caught up in that, and I kind of forgot who the heck I was to some extent. Um, even doing all that, right? Still doing the mom thing, still doing the wifey thing, still doing, the things that I needed to do as a mom, as a sister, as an aunt, as a daughter. Um, with all that, I was also a full time employee. I worked full time. And I was definitely making sure that my career was progressing. I always had short term goals that I accomplished and things like that. Um, and I just basically kept moving up, and I kept moving up. And all these things, again, even at work, I was a leader for a good chunk of my career, and I led people, and I was a great leader. And even till this day, I still have employees that I haven't had for a while will text me, and happy bosses day and different things like that, which I appreciate, because I know, I made an impact in people's lives, as a leader. And excuse me. So, I was again giving. Excuse me. I was again giving and giving. Excuse me. And giving, at work, at home. And there was nothing, being reciprocated to me, you know what I'm saying, as far as my own self-love. So that was a challenge, and that was something that I had to learn, the hard way. um After um, the games and stuff like that. We would always come home. I cooked. We had a really good family dynamic that I felt, I kept up as the woman. You know what I'm saying? And I did the things that I needed to do with my children, because I took on that responsibility of having them, right? But I knew that they were borrowed to me, because God, He gave me sons and He did it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? He had my life planned out for Him. And here I am, 46 years later. My youngest son is 21. My oldest is 28. My middle guy is 23. So they're all grown, they're all very independent, and that was something that I instilled in them when as they were growing up. I always threw in that business mindset, helping them on school projects, and doing different things like that. And helping them, and always throwing business concepts at them, and making sure that they understood, hey, you need to be better than mommy. I want you guys to propel in life, and do things that mommy didn't get a chance to do. So I always instilled that, um and that was something that I'm proud of. Who I am, what I'm saying, is that I'm an encourager, what I'm saying, and not only for my children, my nephews, what I'm saying, I hold them to the same standards as my son. Make sure you do good in school, make sure you go make that money, you know what I'm saying, and do what you need to do, right, to have a good life. Go experience, go travel, see what the world is about, and these are all things that I am proud to say that I instilled in them, that I knew that I should be doing this for my sons to get better, right? And and again, that I just appreciated myself, because again, I'm learning who I am. I'm trying to figure out already that, who are you, um during this process, right? This spiritual journey that I was on these last 5 years. And these are things that I'm discovering about myself, that I was doing on a daily routine, but I never realized the impact that I was having on people. You know what I'm saying? Being a good person, being a good person, sharing love, giving without expecting anything in return. These were definitely key things that I had about me, qualities that I had about me that I didn't really pay too much attention to, right? Because again, it's just what I was doing. I was being a mom, I was being a wife, I was being, the person that I needed to be, in every aspect of my life. Um, so what else? Part of what allowed me to see that I needed to learn self love was, again, going through that spiritual awakening. Um, I had to heal from that pain. I was in pain, emotional pain. And a lot of people go through that, and some people really just, go through it and they hold it in, and never really heal, from traumatic experiences. And I was damned to stay stuck in that funk that I felt like I was in, you know what I'm saying? So I called upon God, and I said, God, I'm done, I don't want to do, I don't want to feel like this no more. I need you. I need you to intervene right now. And just, I surrender. You know what I'm saying? And I surrendered. And that's exactly what I did. And through that surrendering, it was so eye opening on who I was, on all the missed opportunities I had. To acknowledge the person that God created me to be. And I'm just in awe, because now I see exactly who God has made me, how He created me, why He created me to be, some of the ways that I am, and some of the qualities and some of the skills that He's given me, you know. It's just amazing to me, and I love it. I love, I love that I had to go through the bad. I had to get down in that valley. I had to learn a lot of things, man. I had to go through a lot of things by myself. But I needed to go through all that to be here today. and I learned self love. I learned how to be grounded. I learned how to have that self love, how to take care of myself, how to do things for myself, right? And I feel like, God is gonna, he tests me, you know what I'm saying? Are you still gonna fall for certain things? You know what I'm saying? Are you still gonna, go left when I've been showing you to go right? You know what I'm saying? That's again part of self love, me understanding, you know what, Yvette? This is your life. You only have one life, right? And I've done my due diligence. I've done my due diligence with my family. I've done my due diligence with my household. I raise my children. I respect them now as adults. They respect me as an adult, and it's a good dynamic. It's a very good dynamic. And that's the way um I'm so happy that that's the way that God created it to be. He really did. Um, you know, One of the things of self love is, again, knowing who I am, right? So I know that I give without expecting. And I have, again, gone through these heartaches and these, difficult challenges in my life. And I had to learn them, the hard way, with people, being mean to me when my intention was nothing but good, having people talk about me or stabbing me in the back, doing all these things to me. But you know what, guys? I never folded. I never folded because I'm a good person and because I know you don't. Revenge is a horrible thing. And during my spiritual awakening, God was telling me, you got to spread love. Love is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Love overcomes evil. And I never folded. No matter who did what to me, I always maintained who I was, even though I didn't know who I was, right? I was learning who I was, but I wasn't there yet. So it's just, it's amazing to me, that God, is who He is. But I know that with the faith that I had and the guidance and the protection that God was giving me, I know that what goes around comes around. And I was doing good things. I was not going to talk bad about nobody. I was not going to, cause harm to someone that caused harm to me. And that is what, love is. That's spreading love. That's not only self love for me, because it keeps me in a calm place. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me patient, right? I had to learn patience. Throughout my whole life, basically, because I never got what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always giving. I was always giving that. It got, I realized through this spiritual journey that I was, just always giving, but I was never receiving. I was never receiving, and I never received proper love. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, and not so much from a parent perspective, because my parents showed mad love. My mom was very affectionate. My dad was a good dad, a great provider, and they did their thing for being young parents. They showed me love, and they kept. That's one thing that I can definitely say that they taught me, is a family bond. Me, my mom, my dad, my brother, it was us four until obviously me and my brother started having kids and in-laws and stuff. But basically, we grew up in a strong home, you know what I'm saying, where there was love. So I knew that we had our problems. We were never perfect. Me and my mom got into it, quite a few times, because we were two strong females, and then we clashed a lot, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, we gonna turn that around, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Get over it, you know what I'm saying. And that's the way that we, I raise my children as well. I want my sons to know, love is where it's at. You have to spread love, and I share that with them, and I taught them that, and I instilled that, in them. And when they receive their partner, and their family, and they start doing their thing, you know what I'm saying, love. Love not only your family and do what you need to do for your family, but you have to learn your self-love as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't get consumed by everything around you. Don't get consumed by everything around you. Make sure that you take time out for yourself. um, so what's funny is that, as you know, I'm kind of going through things, God always finds a way for me, right? And that's again because I built that individual relationship with him. This is the communication method that we established years and years ago when I first started being introduced to him and spirituality. um, but basically, I was, you know, kind of doing my thing for this vlog, and I found the old poem that I wrote years and years and years ago. um, and I wrote it about myself, so I thought it was so appropriate for this self-love. You know, and it just, it, again, it was a sign from God. And as I'm looking through it, you know, it just reminded me, like, Yvette, do you know who the heck you are? You know what I'm saying? You are a badass female. And that's why, you know, we need to, as women, or as, you know, people who are very strong and independent, and just learning about self-love, you know, you have to give it to yourself. You have to pat yourself on the back. Obviously, you're not going to break your arm patting yourself on the back, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just being conceited and doing too much. But you have the right to be proud of who you are and be proud of how God created you to be. You know what I'm saying? So here's the poem, how it goes. It says, strong but sweet, loud but controlled, exciting but calm, honest but considerate, dedicated but aware, influential but encouraging, serious but sincere, crazy but fun. And then I put at the bottom, thank you, Lord, for creating me this way. So that's just it. I wrote this a long time ago. It was about myself. And the only thing that I should have added then, but obviously I wasn't there yet, um, you know, is basically I put God first. God first in everything. God first in everything, because God created me to be this way. He created me to be creative. You know what I'm saying? I'm extremely creative. He gave me the skills and the qualities that I have. You know what I'm saying? Um, so first step in self-love is accepting who you are. Figuring out who you are if you don't know who you are because you've been consumed by your family and doing, you know, everything for everyone else. Spend some time alone. Spend that quality time alone. I spent quality time alone, and I learned, and I talked to God during that time with prayer. God, show me, you know, like what's going on here. Who am I? Who is Yvette, you know? And I had those conversations, and they were very interesting because God allowed me to reflect. He reminded me of things that I had forgot about. You know what I'm saying? And that's who I am. That's who I am. You know, I'm not a facade. I'm not what somebody else made up in their mind. What I give you is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of that. You know, you either accept it or you don't. Um, so so real quick, just to end that comment, close the loop there, it was during my loneliest times that I really gained the most knowledge about who I am, and the purpose that God had for me. I really had to isolate myself. I wasn't going nowhere. I was at home. I was praying. I was, you know, studying. I was reading scripture. I was going on morning walks every day. You know what I'm saying? Listening to inspirational things. I love Oprah Winfrey. She's such a powerful woman. I would love to be like her when I grow up. But you know, definitely, um, you know, that during those lonely times were some of the best times of my life in hindsight, right? Because I learned a lot about self-love and accepting who I am and loving who I am, right? I love who I am. um so self-love allowed me to put myself first and realize who will continue with me on my path and who I had to leave behind. And that was all due to self-love, because I realized my worth, I realized my value, I realized again who the heck I was, who God created me to be. And I was gonna be damned if I was gonna let anybody disrupt that any longer, right? I allowed people to disrupt my life, and the only life that we get, right? I allowed toxicity to be in my life. I allowed ignorance. I allowed immaturity. I was a part of it to some extent, you know what I'm saying? But that's part of the spiritual awakening. It's part of maturing and understanding what life is really about. And that includes having self love. Some things you can do, some steps to help you identify that self love. Replace criticism and comparison with acceptance and appreciation. Communicate with yourself in kind and positive ways. You know what I'm saying? Words are very powerful. So speak positive in the air, so that, you can get positive in return. Um, Show yourself respect. Show yourself respect, right? By setting boundaries and prioritizing your needs. I do that now. I am gonna prioritize myself. You know what I'm saying? And I am gonna make sure that you're not gonna forget about the other people. You know what I'm saying? You still, are a good person, so you're still gonna do. But again, you know your boundaries, and you know that you have to put yourself first. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important, because again, if you don't put yourself first, then you're gonna kind of fall, you're gonna drain yourself, right? um Develop trust in yourself by honoring your commitments. This was something, honoring my commitments is something that I'm very, I feel strongly about. Just being in a leader capacity from a career perspective, having three sons. I raised three young prince, and they turned into young kings now, right? And basically, I had to make sure that I led by example. I wanted my children to be better than me, so I had to lead by example. Hey, you know what I'm saying? This is the route that mommy's going. I need you to supersede that. I need you to go above and beyond that. Mommy's tired of working. I don't want to work no more. I want my children to make it and make it. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gotta work no more. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Again, sharing that knowledge. Once you know what self love is, share. You know what I'm saying? Speak to other people. You never know what they're going through. Maybe one piece of advice, or one, testimony that you share, or even one little smile, you know what I'm saying, can make a whole difference. And that's really what it is. So in summary, guys, do what makes you happy, but have balance in your life. You need balance. You have to stay grounded, everything in moderation. You can't abuse things, you know, give a little, exercise, say positive things about yourself. Look in the mirror and remind yourself of the things that you like and who you are. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're giving yourself, that you have that time alone. Again, even if you're raising that family, take an afternoon to yourself. Go to the park, go read a book, go listen to a podcast, or just go walk in nature, go sit in a park, and just enjoy the beautiful scenery that God created. These are all things, to help you stay grounded, to help you stay humble, and learn your spiritual side. You know what I'm saying? Learn your spiritual side. That's a part of being balanced. It's not just living in the world and living day to day, you know, going to work, going to school, doing this, doing that. You know, we're spiritual beings, and you should learn your spiritual self. Learn your spiritual self. Spend time with yourself and God. You know what I'm saying? It's again a part of being balanced, and making sure that, you know, you have equal parts in your life. So your life is not, you know, this way all the time. Balance it out. Balance it out. Have fun a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. Go out, have fun, enjoy life, see the world. You know what I'm saying? But don't get stuck, you know, in one thing that is gonna make your life unbalanced. You gotta balance it out. Excuse me. And in my experience, putting God first in everything that I do helped me balance my life. Okay. um Again, develop a relationship with God. Have faith in him. Faith is, I think, what sets me apart. I believe in God so much that everything about my life, I know he has something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I have faith in him. I know what he's shown me. I know the plans that he has for me, and I'm so excited. I'm so elated. I'm so thankful to him. So thankful to him. um you know, just, you have to be strong. You know, be strong, because there are going to be times that are going to be sad and lonely. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you'll get over it. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? Always remember, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and things are always gonna get better. There's always a workaround for something. If you believe in God and put God first, and believe in signs, and know that he's communicating with you, you're gonna see it all the time, and then you're not gonna have to worry about nothing. And we're human. It doesn't mean that sometimes I don't get a little nervous or scared because things are not going the way that I know they're supposed to be planned to go. But those are little things here and there, little tests, or, you know, maybe God wants to make sure you're on the, you know, still sticking to it, or, you know, just little things. The devil tries to get in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Push him to the side. He's nobody. When you realize who you are in God, the devil's nobody to you. Bad things that happen don't matter, because you know at the end of the day, everything's gonna be all right. Okay. um Take some risk, guys. You got to take some risk. I mentioned before, when God gives you an opportunity to move, to make a change, to do something different in your life, then you need to move. So take some risk. Have faith. That's what faith is about. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared. um and honestly, again, just love. You know, be good to other people. Be good to other people, and don't expect anything in return. You know what I'm saying? Just know that, you know, if you put God first, you have faith. Continue excuse me, continue believing in him. Continue, you know, to have good intent with people. That's, you know, basically what God wants. Continue to establish and build on the relationship that you have with God. Learn yourself, learn your spiritual side, balance your life out. These are the things that will help you be successful in making sure that you are giving yourself self-love. Okay. So I hope this was you know, helpful for you. You know, again, self-love is extremely important. You got to do it for yourself. You know, and it's not always going to be easy, and it's a continuous fluid process. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you have that inner peace. You have that contentment. You're fulfilled. Even if the people in the world are doing everything different than the way that you're doing it, just know that if you put God first, they're eventually going to be the outcast, and you'll be what it is, where it's at. Okay. I hope this helps. Appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to my vlogs. Please subscribe and share. And I look forward to another video coming soon. Okay. Peace, guys.